And thanks for staying with us at 7:30. We continue tonight with a term you may have heard somewhere between sending emails in your cubicle or hopping on and off a virtual conference call. It's not just a term, but really a philosophy becoming more prevalent and harder to ignore in our post-COVID-19 work culture here in America. It's called quiet quitting. Major news outlets have devoted numerous articles on this topic, ranging from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Guardian. And the attention is merited. Recent Gallup research shows that only 15% of employees are actively engaged at work. So that means, well, yeah, 85% of employees may be quiet quitting. A report on workplace data by Pew Research shows 47%, nearly half of all U.S. employees, believe work is just a way to pay the bills. Further research has found 79% of employees report they would stop quiet quitting if given more recognition. For some, it's mentally checking out from work. For others, it's become about not accepting additional work without additional pay. As one person described it, you are still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentally that work has to be our life in order to get ahead.
You walk in and the space is different. It's quiet. So fight, flight, or freeze, you either kind of focus in and just do what you need to do, you disconnect, or you decide, I don't like this anymore. This doesn't feel healthy. This isn't a place that I want to be. So it's physical, psychological, and a little bit emotional.
Keep in mind, though, the mentality of quiet quitting doesn't come without its drawbacks. For one, it could make you less popular in the place you work. No matter for how long, you may still remain there. A new survey by LLC.org looked at the most annoying coworker habits and found, you guessed it, quiet quitting was among the most irritating. 1,000 full-time employees were polled here, split between male and female. Average age was 38. More than 6 in 10 find the trend incredibly annoying, with more than half saying they've recently noticed a colleague who has quiet quit. They say they've had to take on more work because their colleague decided to do less. Now, labor experts also project quiet quitting, coasting through work, could be a prime target for layoffs as recession fears now loom. So, after hearing all of this, how did so many Americans reach this mentality? What causes someone's mindset to change, especially on something as important as personal as their job? Dr. Charisse Johnson is a psychotherapist based right here in Charlotte, and she recently published an article in Brains magazine describing the neurobiology of quiet quitting and how it can change the workplace culture. I recently talked with Dr. Johnson about this growing trend. Let's talk about quiet quitters, because I think some might think at first blush these are just slackers, people who don't want to work hard. That's not the case, is it?
That's actually not the case. Quiet quitters are typically individuals who were high achieving. They came in, wanted to make a change, have worked extremely hard, and then hit a wall, and then slowly begin, or sometimes quickly, to find an exit.
Walk us through some of the underlying reasons then that people are quiet quitting.
This is still part of the fatigue, the stress, the accumulation, the burnout of being in the pandemic, and recognizing what is really important, recognizing how you may have been treated during that time, or even trying to go back and reintegrate into a place that isn't the same. Sometimes people at the top are making big, tough decisions that we understand, but not recognizing how every time you make a change, a shift, in a season where people have already been overwhelmed by uncertainty, they also don't feel comfortable in a setting anymore and like they can regulate and feel it's a place that they want to be.
I think a lot of people might assume then that means just changing jobs is going to solve all this, does it?
Unfortunately, that is what a lot of people believe, and it doesn't.
So employee to employee, our coworkers, are there things that we can kind of do to support each other through this?
Being open and honest with each other, I think, is going to be extremely helpful. But even more than that, learning how important it is to be respectful to an individual, giving each other the benefit of the doubt when we do see this is outside of their normal character. One of the things that I encourage us to always ask someone, even if we feel taken aback by the way that they're acting, is, hey, is everything okay? right? Starting off with just a simple question like that really brings things down before you go to the defense to say, what's happening here? Is there something going on with this person that I'm aware of? And then we have a responsibility as the employee to be honest and go, I'm sorry. That came off a little bit more aggressive than I intended it to. I'm really not doing well today.
Interesting conversation. Tell us your thoughts about quiet quitting. You can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag OYSTonight. And again, you can always scan the QR code as well. You see there on your screen to get to our mobile menu.